Magandang araw po. Ako po si Mayor Krisel Lagman ng Tabaco City, Albay, sa Bicol Region. Mayor po ako for the past almost 12 years. And natutuwa po ako na makapagbigay ng maikling pahayag or presentation tungkol po sa data-driven development. Ang topic ko po ngayon ay Making Data Count for All. We live in a three-dimensional world. Iba-iba ang pangangailangan ng bawat tao. Subalit, ang data natin, ngayon pa lang nagsisimula na maging sex disaggregated. Pero kulang po ang pagiging sex disaggregated lang ng data. Dapat ma-reflect nito yung tunay na mga pangangailangan ng mga dinidisaggregate natin, lalong-lalo na po yung data tungkol doon sa mga hindi natin masyadong napapansin. So, ito po ang kwento ng Tabaco City and kung paano namin ginagamit ang data para mag-drive ng development. Making data count for all. This is Tabaco's story on data-driven development. Let me introduce to you Tabaco. Tabaco is in the island of Luzon, Bicol region, where the majestic Mayon volcano is. It is on the eastern coast of the province of Albay. And if you can take a look at the map of Tabaco, it's shaped like a heart. Kaya naman, we call Tabaco the City of Love. So it is a port city with 140,000 inhabitants, 47 barangays. Half of them lie on the foothills of the Mayon volcano and half of them along the coast of Albay, facing the island province of Catanduanes in the Pacific Ocean. When I started as mayor in 2007, I was fresh from my NCPAG schooling. I just finished my master's. Was going to start my master's in public administration. And I was so excited to finally be able to implement what I have learned. And that was the time na ang ugong-ugong talaga is the Millennium Development Goals. Remember, 2000 to 2015, kailangan natin ma-monitor kung nasaan na ang bansa natin, especially ang challenge was to localize the attainment of the Millennium Development Goals. So the first thing I asked our planning officer when I assumed office was, ano ang data natin? How many people, how many are women, how many are men, ilan ang fishermen, ilan ang farmers, ilang hectares ang planted to this crop, how many students, how many are in school and not in school, are there differences between the sexes? And sabi ng aking planning officer, ma'am, ang data natin is like more than 5 years old. Kaya galing pa sa NSO. Sabi ko, don't we generate our own data? Sabi niya, no ma'am, nagre-rely tayo sa NSO, the National Statistics Office. And so, tamang-tama, that was the same year na magsisimula na yung national the census on housing. Kaya kinausap ko yung aming officer na assign dito sa Tabaco. Sabi ko, Sir Dads, pwede bang makisabay na lang yung aking mga staff sa pag-enumerate ninyo for the census? Sabi niya, ma'am, hindi po pwede yun. Kami lang po ang pwedeng ang pumunta mag-house to house. Eh sabi ko, okay lang, hindi kayo mag-house to house. Can you share with us your data? Oh no, ma'am. It has to be submitted first to the President and the President will approve it before it is publicized. Okay, sabi ko, so how long will it take from the time na ginawa niyo yung census? Sabi niya, around 1 or 2 years. Sabi ko, 3 years lang ang term ko. So, paano yan if I don't have the data? How can I make the right decisions and the right choices na doable within my term na 3 years lang? So, I remembered that Sherlock Holmes once said, it is capital mistake to theorize before you have all the evidence. It biases the judgment. So today, evidence is as necessary to political conviction as it is to criminal conviction. Yung ebidensya ang makakatulong sa akin na makapagdesisyon kung anong gagawin. And since accountable ako, ebidensya rin na magiging basihan ng re-election ko at ng magiging output ko, no? So, malaking problema talaga, wala akong data. So, wag na muna niyo tingnan tong screen, no? Tama-tama naman po. My professor at NCPAG was now our Secretary of Education, Secretary Leonora Briones. And she invited me a few months after I assumed office. Sabi niya, Krisel, interesado ka ba sa CBMS? Sabi ko, ma'am, ano po ang CBMS? Sabi niya, Community-Based Monitoring System. She was then with Social Watch Philippines. And sabi niya, we can partner with you so that you can collect your own data, you can process your data, analyze it, and use it. And that can help you also localize the attainment of the Millennium Development Goals. Sabi ko, sige ma'am, paano yan? Sabi niya, you attend muna the conference and you will see for yourself how the CBMS has been used by other LGUs. And so this was my eureka moment. No? When I saw these two slides presented by a fellow mayor, the mayor of Labo Cam Norte, Mayor Winfredo Oco. Napakasimple ng mga pictures, no? Ang kagandahan sa CBMS, hindi lang numbers ang titingnan mo. You can actually translate and transform the numbers into poverty maps. So this was the poverty map presented by the mayor of Labo that really made me look twice and say, yan ang gusto ko. So ano po itong poverty map na to? Ang pinapakita lang po dito sa first map, no, was ilan ang mga walang sanitary toilets doon sa isang barangay. This is a barangay in Labo. So yung mga green, yan yung merong sanitary toilets at yung red, yun yung walang sanitary toilets. So yung buong barangay, ayan na yung kaniyang mga households. So per purok, kaya mo na siyang makita at one glance. So what was really amazing was when the mayor learned about this, alam niya na kung saan siya magta-target ng kanyang mga interventions. And so, doon niya binuhos yung kanyang pondo. Let's now put in sanitary toilets sa mga barangay. So this is one map that was very clear. Natingnan niyo yung transition to the second map. No? Just look at how many the green dots are versus the red dots. So sabi ko, yan ang gusto kong mangyari sa Tabaco. I want to be able to diagnose the extent of poverty. No? Hindi lang naman ang poverty is lack of money, pero lack of access, for instance, to education, healthcare services, violence in the community, that causes poverty. So yun ang gusto ko makita. And I want it to be dramatic this way, you know? Na makikita ko siya and then I can intervene with my team and then we will see the difference. So I was hooked sa CBMS and implemented it right away. But the problem now was, no, how do you now implement the CBMS without appreciating what it is first? So, ito muna po. Okay. So, tamang-tama yung CBMS kasi yung mini-measure natin na mga targets ng MDGs or the Millennium Development Goals were exactly the same as the CBMS indicators. No? Like, sa targets natin, andyan yung health, nutrition, housing, water and sanitation, education, incomes, and livelihood, employment, peace and order. So, tugmang-tugma rin siya dun sa mini-measure na indicators ng CBMS. So I want to show this slide first. I was battling kung papakita ko ito in the beginning or in the end. But I decided to put this up front. Because in the program design alone, makikita po ninyo ang difference ng may data at walang data. No? Pre-CBMS, we used second-hand data. Sabi ko nga kanina, galing sa PSA or NSO before. And when we just made projections, baka ganito yan, okay? And so personal perception, haka-haka ko, palapalagay, feel ko, ganito yan. Very vague, and of course, politics would get in. No? But after CBMS, I have now my own data. It's first-hand. Because we conduct an actual census and not just extrapolate data. So hindi lang siya survey, but an actual census. So it is not just personal perception, but personal account of the people we interviewed and we got the information from. Aside, it's not vague anymore, it's very clear. No? And it is transparent and it is apolitical. When it comes naman to targeting, no? Dati, shotgun approach. Sige, tingnan natin, tira lang ng tira at baka may tatamaan kang tama. With CBMS, it's now specific, accurate, and evidence-based. Dati for compliance lang, kailangan natin kunin itong gawin ito kasi we have to comply, no? Sa mga directives ng DILG at iba pang national agencies. Pero ngayon, ang intervention natin ay hindi dahil for compliance lang, kundi dahil kailangan siya. No? Needs-based and identified by the end users themselves. So may maganda rin kaming basihan for monitoring and evaluating our progress. No? In the beginning, without CBMS, wala kaming benchmark. No? Wala rin kaming mahirap i-monitor kung wala kang pagbabasehan o kukumparahan. So it was just all generic dictations. But after CBMS, there were now clear benchmarks because we have conducted CBMS every 2 years, so we can now compare our data and see if we are improving or if we have to do more work on certain areas. So there are now clear set of indicators and measurable outputs and outcomes. And of course, may community participation at may community ownership. So I'm sure interesado na kayo, what is CBMS all about? No? Okay. So CBMS is a system. It is a system of collecting, analyzing, and verifying information to build knowledge that is applied in planning and development and in evaluating and monitoring interventions and programs. So CBMS has a questionnaire with a set of indicators, no? And we would have a census using this tool or this questionnaire, and it is a census of all of our households, and not just a sample survey that is rooted in local government. It is rooted in local government, and it promotes community participation. Lastly, it uses local personnel and community volunteers as enumerators using, again, a questionnaire of simple and well-established poverty indicators. So, ngayon, kami ang kumukuha ng data using our own people. Kami rin po ang nag-validate ng data using our respondent households. And kami rin po, together with the community, ang nag-a-analyze ng data namin. At yan ang ginagamit namin to target, no, to budget, to monitor, and to evaluate. Census na naman. Remember when I started in 2007, kasabay yun ng NSO census. So census na naman, no? Ang sabi naman namin, hindi ka lang bilang, ikaw ay kabilang. No? You are not just a number, you are a respondent, so you are part of the whole system. Kumare, iba ito. Sa CBMS, datos mo, boses mo. So kung makikita po ninyo dito, ang nag-i-interview na enumerator ay pupuntahan kung nasaan si Mrs. o kung nasaan yung pinaka-available na respondent doon sa isang household. And usually po, ang respondents namin ay yung mga kababaihan kasi sila yung inaabutan sa mga bahay. Okay? So, ito naman ang sabi ng CBMS enumerator. CBMS enumerator ako with factual data targeted ang serbisyo ng LGU. So, kung makikita po ninyo, karamihan po sa ating enumerators ay babae. At karamihan rin po sa ating respondents ay babae. At pag nag-analyze po kami ng data at binalidate namin ito sa mga barangay, ang karamihan ng mga nag-a-attend ay mga babae rin. Kaya napakalaking advantage nito na marinig talaga ang boses ng babae at ma-analyze ang data through the lenses and perspective ng mga babae, no? So yun yung edge dito, no? So, huwag po kayo masyadong malito sa numero. Pinapakita lang po namin dito that we started in 2008 collecting data. And then the last one was 2018. We were supposed to conduct a census, a CBMS census in 2020, but the pandemic came. Kaya ang aming data po ay ina-update na lang namin every so often, lalong-lalo na kung during the pandemic, no, nung nagbigay kami ng SAP or the Social Amelioration Program ng National Government. But the value of this slide is pinapakita on the left yung amin pong mga indicators na minomonitor, and then yung specific indicators ngayon like proportion of children who died, the prevalence of malnutrition, proportion of women deaths due to pregnancy-related causes. So napakaganda po talaga ng mga data na nakukuha natin. And kung makikita po ninyo, let's just look at the health and nutrition. No? Over the years, na-monitor namin because we have baselines. No? Baseline namin would be the previous census results. So makikita namin where we're going, and pwede rin namin i-analyze, bumagsak tayo dyan kasi kakatapos lang ng typhoon. Kaya iba talaga ang magiging response ng ating mga respondent households. Okay? So, ang kagandahan po nito is we have our own data and we utilize our data so that we can target, no? Ano ba ang pinakakailangan ng aming mga constituents, ng aming mga residents. This is a sample poverty map way back in 2008. No? And color-coded siya. So, ang red, dito sa Achieving Universal Primary Education, ang red ang pinakamaraming out-of-school youth. Yung mga bata na dapat nasa school pero wala sa school. Pag tinignan mo lang kasi yung nasa right side na nasa square, sabi dito 19.6% of the children age 6 to 12 are not in elementary school. Ang sinasabi niya lang, 19.6%. Pero with the poverty maps, you now know nasaan tong 19.6% na to, no? Na who are not in school. And makikita po natin, ito pong heart shape, yan po ang aming mainland. At ito pong mga red na maps, no? Siya po ang pinakamalapit sa Mayon volcano. Okay? And ito naman pong nakahiwalay, yan yung island ng San Miguel. No? So makikita po natin na ang pinaka hindi nakaka-access ng education ay yung mga nasa upland at yung nasa island. So, may problema. Ano yung problema? So, doon po sa validation nakikita natin na ang problema is malayo sa mga eskwelahan, yung mga nasa upland at island. Kung titingnan niyo po dito sa island, it will take them 6 to 7 kilometers to walk to the nearest school. So, ganon kalayo. So, talaga naman, masasabi natin na yung access sa education ang nagiging balakid. Kaya hindi nakakapasok yung mga bata. So that is just an example. Yan yung education. But we can go even deeper, no? Hindi lang po siya map ng buong Tabaco, but we can zoom in doon sa mismong barangay. And this is Barangay Oson, no? And ito po ay nasa foothills ng Mayon Volcano. Dito po nakalagay yung mga households. No? Ay makikita mo talaga kung alin ang mga lugar na malayo sa elementary school, doon din mas mataas ang bilang ng mga out of school youth. Okay. Dahil po doon sa aming unang data on education, nagtanong pa kami, additional questions. Ano ang nagiging balakid aside from distance? Ang sabi po nila, wala kasi po silang mga school supplies. And nahihiya na silang pumasok kasi hihiram na naman sila ng lapis, hihingi na naman sila ng papel sa kanilang kamag-aral. Kaya dahil doon, nakakahiya naman kung mapasok ako, wala akong gamit sa eskwela, hindi na lang sila papasok. Sabi ko, kung yan lang ang problema, ano kaya kung pondohan natin ang libreng gamit sa eskwela? Hindi muna para sa lahat kasi syempre ang pondo natin ilimitado. Pero since natatarget naman ng CBMS yung pinakamahihirap na pamilya, di doon muna natin ibigay ang libreng gamit sa eskwela. Hanggang ngayon po ay nagbibigay kami ng libreng gamit sa eskwela kasi nakita po namin na talagang nakatulong ito to access education and also to lessen the number of out-of-school youth. Pero pagdating po sa high school, hindi gamit sa eskwela ang kanilang naging problema. Ang problema nila ay napakalayo ng mga high schools. Kasi po ang elementary school, remember, halos bawat barangay may elementary school. Pero sa high school, for instance, sa island ng San Miguel, dadalawa lang po ang high school. Dito naman po sa upland, dadalawa rin po ang high school. So, kailangan talaga mabigyan sila ng suporta, no? Kaya naman nagkaroon kami ng programa na Love on Wheels. Ito pong mga bisikletang to, donated to ng Japanese NGO sa amin. Pinalitan lang po namin yung ibang mga piyesa at pinamigay po namin sa mga high school students sa island at sa upland para po mabigyan din sila ng more access sa education. So, dahil po nalaman namin kung ano yung kanilang mga rason kung bakit hindi sila pumapasok, natutukan po namin yung karapat-dapat na programa para matugunan yung pangangailangan. Hindi na siya shotgun approach, kundi targeted na po ang interventions. Lying in clinics. Nung nagsimula po ako as mayor ng Tabaco, mataas po ang aming maternal mortality. And dahil din po sa CBMS, nakita namin na ang maternal deaths ay kadalasan na andon sa island at sa upland barangays. Bakit? Kasi wala po kaming lying in clinics doon. They still have to travel from the island to the mainland to access services. The same thing with the upland barangays. They still have to access services doon po sa aming health center sa sentro. Kaya sabi ko, let's see. Kung access ang problema, then let's give them access. So, nagpatayo po kami ng lying-in clinic sa San Miguel Island. Nagpatayo rin po kami ng lying-in clinic sa San Antonio, the Mother and Child Clinic. Nagkamali lang po. Ito yung Mother and Child Clinic. And then, sa isa pang quadrant po ng Tabaco, naglagay rin po kami ng isa pang clinic para meron na kaming 4 na lying-in clinic. And you know, dahil po sa intervention na yon, hindi lang clinic, kailangan may doktor, dapat may supplies, kompleto ang staff. No? 24 hours ang service. Dahil doon po bumagsak ang bilang ng maternal mortality sa aming pong lugar. So talaga, pag targeted ang intervention mo, talagang makikita mo kaagad ang resulta. Ito naman po, dahil alam ko na marami kaming padjak drivers at tinagurian nga na padjak capital of the Philippines ang Tabaco. Sabi ko, ang mga padjak drivers, karamihan ay lalaki. Pero meron din pong mga babaeng nagpapadjak. Kung nagpapadyakan, ibig sabihin, malakas pa ang katawan mo. Pag nagpapadyak ka, karamihan dyan ay bata-bata pa. And kung bata ka, nagsisimula pa lang ang iyong pagpapamilya. So sabi ko, let us target, no, sa ating reproductive health program, etong mga kalalakihan. Kasi bakit naman, pag sinabi nating family planning, palaging babae lang ang nagpaplano ng pamilya. Pat hindi natin i-involve ang lalaki kasi hindi naman mabubuo ang bata kung walang participation ang lalaki. Pero palaging ang burden ay nasa babae. So, tawagin natin ng programang Usapang Macho. So, ginrupo po namin itong mga padjak drivers at in-invite namin si John D. Flavier, poster boy ng vasectomy, para pag-usapan ano ang mga pamamaraan na pwedeng maging involved ang mga kalalakihan sa pagpaplano ng pamilya. So, may tinigyan namin sila ng mga t-shirts sa kalagay, padjak driver, sweet lover, no? Responsableng father at good provider. So, pinag-usapan namin yung pagpaplano ng pamilya at marami po sa kanila ang nagsabing, oo nga, bakit ba si Mrs. pa ang lagi naming natutukahan sa pagpaplano? Kami naman, pwede naman. At may options pala para sa amin, hindi lang condom, no, or abstinence. No, meron pa palang ibang mga pamamaraan, katulad ng vasectomy. And nakakuha po kami ng nagkailang mga volunteers na nag-undergo ng vasectomy. And dahil nga po, ang mga lalaking to nasa mga parada ng mga padjak, bawat parada po ay nagkikwentuhan na sila hanggang marami po kaming nahimok, marami kaming na-convince na magpa-vasectomy. No? And pagkatapos naman ng Usapang Macho, tinawag naman namin yung mga misis nila. Ito naman po yung Chikahan Tayo Mare o Chikahan Tayo Mads. And napag-usapan namin doon ng pinaka-importante pa rin, no, sa pagpaplano ng pamilya ay ang magandang communication ng lalaki at babae. So after the Usapang Macho at Chikahan Tayo Mare, ay nagkaroon kami ng isa pa na pagtitipon kung saan doon na sila gumawa ng pagpaplano ng kanilang pamilya para siyang marketplace na naandun yung mga commodities or information na kailangan nila para makaguide sa kanilang pagpaplano ng pamilya. Malaking tulong ang data, kaya nagawa namin po ito. Pero since inquisitive ako, marami rin po akong mga dinagdag na mga katanungan habang naandun sila sa pagtitipong to. Isa sa mga tanong na nilagay ko sa questionnaire is, meron bang impact ang religion sa pagdedesisyon mo kung magpaplano ka o hindi ng inyong pamilya? And amazingly, wala pong sumagot na religion is a big factor. Ang factor pa na nakalagay doon is fear, no? Fear na may mga side effects yung mga contraceptives. So, nalaman ko na dapat tutukan namin talaga yung demand side and maalis yung fear doon sa mga side effects ng contraceptives. So, dahil po sa CBMS, naturuan namin ng sarili namin to be more inquisitive and to ask more questions. Okay. Dahil po sa mapang to, no? At kinopya, parang kopya lang to doon sa mapa na nakita ko doon kay Mayor ng Labo, Cam Norte. Ito po ang naka-impress sa Spanish government na bigyan ang Tabaco ng project, water system project under the PODER program of the Spanish government. We presented this and we said that ito po ang lack of access to water sa island ng San Miguel. And so, when we implemented the project, we saw all these red dots. And after the implementation of the project, we assessed and monitored. And we saw that most of the red dots turned green. Kasi nga, na-target din namin. It's an 11 or 12 million project for the island of San Miguel. So, isa rin ang maganda po, if you have the data and you have the information, no? Pwede po ninyong pwede kayong maghanap ng mga sponsors, donor organizations that can support your projects. Kasi alam nila na alam mo kung ano yung mga pangangailangan ng lugar. Okay. Nagamit ba namin ng CBMS during the pandemic? Definitely. So we have used the CBMS to diagnose the extent of poverty. We also use the CBMS to target sino out of our 40-some thousand households. We have 140 residents. We have 40,000 households. Pero ang social amelioration program ng gobyerno, 17,412 lang. So sino dito ang aming ipaprioritize out of all of those who were affected by the pandemic? No? So, since na-target namin po yung pinaka-nangangailangan, sila po yung may mga senior citizens, may mga pregnant and lactating women, sila po yung large family, sila po yung nawala ng trabaho, sila po yung mga pamilya ng OFWs na nawala ng trabaho because of the pandemic. So, madali po namin na na-target kung sino itong mga taong to. And since meron kami ng buong census, alam rin po namin na yung iba, kahit hindi po sila kahit hindi sila nabigyan ng social amelioration program ng national government, ang Tabaco City LGU po ang nag-provide sa kanila ng rice assistance at konting cash para lahat po nabigyan ng ayuda during the height of the pandemic in the year 2020. Nagkaroon din po kami ng CBMS ID card kasi marami rin po ang wala silang government-issued ID. And mabuti nga at tinanggap naman po ng mga national agencies katulad ng DSWD ang CBMS Citizens ID card namin kasi issued siya by the local government. Okay, ito po some pictures of the SAP payout and the rice distribution. So, nakakuha po ng 20 kilos of rice yung may 5 above na family members. And yung may 3 to 4 po, naka-receive sila ng 10 kilos of rice. And then yung below 3 members, nakakuha sila ng 5 kilos of rice. And may cash assistance rin po yung mga hindi nabigyan ng 5,000 pesos na SAP ng national government. Ito po ang sample ng aming pong CBMS ID. Kung makikita po ninyo dito, nakalagay na rin po dito yung household size, kung nuclear family siya or extended family, and iba pa pong mga information na makakatulong sa amin po to provide the service. No? For instance, sa yung mga humihingi po ng tulong for medical assistance, na nakikita po namin talaga sa livelihood pa lang nila kung ano po ang kanilang status sa buhay. So, malaking bagay po ang Tabaco Citizens ID card. Okay. Dahil po alam namin ang nutritional status ng aming population, alam rin po namin na iba-iba ang kanilang pangangailangan. Iba ang pangangailangan ng lactating and pregnant women, iba po ang pangangailangan ng mga bata, no? Sa iba't ibang mga level ng nutrition, alam rin po natin na iba rin ang mga pangangailangan ng mga matatanda. So, dahil po may data kami, mas lalo pang napaganda yung aming nutrition program during the pandemic. In fact, napakalaking amount ang inallocate namin para sa nutrition program kasi alam namin, apektado ang livelihood. And kung apektado ang livelihood, apektado rin ang pagkain ng aming mga residente. So, the National Nutrition Council of Region 5 has hailed Tabaco as one of the best performers in the area of nutrition during the pandemic. Okay, it's just some pictures. Of course, yung aming lactating and pregnant women, binibigyan po namin sila ng maternal milk and crackers. And I think it's good for like 3 months po. And iba rin po ang pangangailangan syempre ng aming may mga kapansanan. Ang aming mga kabataan rin po, meron din kaming pinurchase sa kanila ng mga delicious and yet nutritious snacks. And marami rin pong nag-partner sa amin na mga NGOs dahil targeted nga namin po. Alam namin kung nasaan ang aming mga kabataan na kailangan talaga ng tulong. Okay. GEDSI, Gender Equality, Disability, and Social Inclusion. Ito yung sinabi natin kanina na mga voiceless, no? Rarely naririnig natin yung kanilang mga hinaing, pero sila yung pinaka nangangailangan ng tulong ng gobyerno man o ng society. Okay, isa sa mga inintroduce namin as an innovation, kasi di ba lagi kaming may Mayon volcano eruption, lagi kaming may typhoon, lalo-lalo na sa Mayon volcano eruption, na mga 2 to 3 months sila nagsistay sa evacuation center. Napakahalaga po na meron tayong sex disaggregated data. No? So as an innovation, gender and development profiling in evacuation centers were done in order to target the specific needs of families with children, pregnant women, elderly members, and people with special needs. So ang laman po ng aming mga binibigay ay hindi lang pagkain, kundi yung iba po may diapers, iba may sanitary napkins, no? At ano iba pang mga pangangailangan na specific doon sa mga members ng household. We also used proxy data in getting more information about sensitive data like domestic violence, rape, mental illness. Doon kasi sa CBMS may tanong po doon on violence against women and their children. Ang tanong po doon, may alam po ba kayo na insidente na may pambubugbog sa asawa, pananakit sa mga bata dito po sa inyong barangay sa mga nakalipas na buwan? No? And mahirap po makakuha ng sagot doon. Normally, sasabihin nila, ay, wala po. Okay? So, we need now to devise proxy data. And one of the data, one of our partners would be the school. Pag yung bata palaging nag-absent, yung nagbago yung behavior niya, yung dating very happy and jolly, naging very quiet, no? Yun yung mga signs na baka kailangan mo mag-intervene and to know more about what is happening sa household. So, doon din po sa aming mga health centers, mas comprehensive na ngayon dapat ang physical examination during the perinatal visits, the prenatal and postnatal visits. Kasi yung violence, nakikita rin po natin during the time na nagbubuntis ang babae. So, makikita rin natin kung mga may signs of violence kasi may mga physical manifestations din po siya. So, another would be, dito po sa Tabaco, marami na kami nirelocate. I think we have around 8 resettlement sites here in Tabaco. And ever since, simula pa sa PNR, talagang ginagawa na po naming practice na ina-award namin yung for shelter or resettlement units, hindi po sa lalaki, kundi sa babae. Okay? Especially kung live-in lang sila at hindi sila kasal. Bakit sa babae? Kasi kung ang babae man ang iniwan o ang babae man ang nang-iwan, ang babae ang nagdadala ng mga anak nila. So sila ang mas nangangailangan ng tahanan. Sila ang mas nangangailangan ng housing unit. Kaya dito po sa Tabaco, ang mga babae po, sa kanila nakapangalan ang kanilang mga housing unit. Sa kanila po naka-award po. So, ito po yung sinasabi ko kanina, no? Aside from just relying on the CBMS answers to the questionnaire, we ask more questions. And we found out that these are the reasons for dropout amongst high school students. Tingnan niyo po yung pagkakaiba, ha? Lack of money to commute to the nearest high school, need to help augment the family income, kaya nagtatrabaho na lang sila kaysa mag-aral, need to help in the farm or take care of younger siblings, early pregnancy, and marriage. So obviously, may mga gender differences for quitting school. This was 2008 data po. 14,676 females would quit school to help in the house versus 2,206 males who quit school for the same reason. 24,479 males who quit school to find employment versus 10,829 females who quit school for the same reason. So definitely, may gender differences. And yung data namin, hindi lang siya sex disaggregated, pero in-analyze namin ano yung mga differences, no? Para maging specific and targeted yung aming pong mga interventions. Okay. Ito rin po ay bunga ng CBMS. Kasi habang umiikot po yung aming mga enumerators, marami silang nakikita ng mga persons with disability and karamihan po mga elderly na post-stroke victims, no? At marami rin mga bata na may cerebral palsy. Kaya sabi ko, kahit hindi role ng local government ng city, no, ang tertiary care, no, kasi tertiary care na to, rehab care na to, ginawan po namin kasi naandun yung need. So we hired physical therapists. We partnered with Simon of Cyrene, an NGO. We trained our CRWs or the community rehab workers para magkaroon po kami ng talagang functioning na sentrong kalusugan. So hindi lang po siya maliit na office, kundi equipped po siya, no, ng maraming mga gamit para sa pag-rehab, no. Meron siyang physical therapy, meron siyang occupational therapy. At meron din po kaming mental health program na tumutulong doon sa mga kailangan pong matutukan din yung kanilang may mga mental health issues. So these are some just of the pictures of what's happening sa Central Kalusugan. Isa sa mga sektor na talagang naapektuhan ng pandemya, worldwide pandemic, ay ang aming mga OFWs. Marami po sa kanilang nagsiuwian dahil nag-end na yung kanilang contract at hindi na sila binabalik o talagang sadyang pinag-uwi na sila kasi nga wala na yung trabaho. So mabuti nga at meron po kaming Migrant Resource Center sa Tabaco. And I think ilan lang LGU ang merong ganito, no? And ang kagandahan po ay organized ang aming pong mga OFW sa bawat barangay. Kaya nung nagkaroon ng ayuda galing sa OWA, mabilis pong naka-action kami. Kasi alam namin kung nasaan yung aming mga displaced workers, especially yung aming pong mga OFWs and their families na naririto. So, meron din kami pong programa na livelihood para sa aming mga OFWs during the time of the pandemic. And sila rin po ang naging beneficiaryo namin. Karamihan sa kanila po at karamihan mga babae doon po sa DTI's negosyo serbisyo sa barangay na I think several times po kami nakapagbigay ng pampupunan, pang startup capital at yung mismo pong goods para makapagsimula sila ng maliit na negosyo like a sari-sari store. Marami rin po kaming mga mananahi, karamihan po mga babae na nawala ng trabaho kasi, di ba nangyari yun March, nawala na yung prom, no? February, wala na yung prom, March, wala na yung graduation, wala na yung mga festivals na kadalasan nangyayari during the summer months. So marami po ang nawalang trabaho sa aming mga mananahi. Kaya, ginamit natin po yung kanilang galing sa pagtahi at yung pangangailangan din natin for PPEs like face masks at sila po ang nakatulong sa atin sa demand At nakatulong din po tayo sa kanilang livelihood during the time na talagang down na down po at wala silang trabaho. Home-based pa. Kaya wala silang masyadong problema na magkaroon ng infection in a workplace setting. So, when the governor saw the face mask, kasi akong gumagamit ng mga face mask na ginagawa nila, natuwa si Gov, sabi niya, saan mo kinuha yan? Sabi ko, Gov, tahito ng mga kababaihan namin sa Tabaco. Sabi niya, magkano ba yan? Sabi ko, 20 pesos. Sabi niya, mas mura pa yan kaysa sa face mask noon. Di ba, ang mahal-mahal pa ng face mask noon. Hindi katulad ngayon na mas mura na. Sabi niya, reusable ba yan? Oo, sabi ko, Gov, may tissue pa siya sa loob kasi may pocket siya for tissues. Sige, sabi niya, order ako. He ordered 500, no? 500 50,000 face masks, 50,000 face masks for 1 million pesos. So, yung income po doon ay napunta sa ating mga kababaihan. So, nakatulong na malaki po during the time of the pandemic. Okay. Ito po ang mga challenges. No? I'm nearing the end of my presentation. These are the challenges that we encountered. Mobilizing community participation is quite difficult, no? Kasi pag census yan, they fear na, nako, tataas ang buwis namin kasi makikita na meron kami mga pag-aari, no? So, you really have to establish trust na hindi ito for taxation purposes. Another would be, you need to build local capacities, local enumerators, local mobilizers, kasi but bad data will be wrong data, no? So, kung mahina yung mga enumerators mo, mali naman yung mga nakukuha nilang data, then hindi rin natin magagamit yung data na yon para ma-develop yung ating community. Limited resources, lagi naman po limited ang resources, pero can be costly at first, but very cost-effective. Kasi targeted ang intervention mo, so kulang ang sayang. Partisan politics, naalis po ito kasi hindi na po dahil padrino o padrina ito ng isang politiko, kundi dahil pangangailangan. So, hindi na tinitingnan po kung sino ang nag-recommend, kundi kung talagang kailangan kasi may datos na kami. And yun po ang silbi ng CBMS. No? Commitment and sustainability. Lagi naman problema ang sustainability. Papaano na pag hindi na kayo ang mayor? Papaano na kung hindi na ma-appreciate ito ng tao? Kaya ginawa naming ordinansa. Kahit sino man ang maging mayor, gagamitin niya po ang CBMS. Lalo na ngayon po na batas na ang CBMS. So gagamitin talaga natin na ang CBMS. So difficulty in comparing statistical data with other sources like the NHTS or the DSWD or the DOH National Online Info and Recording System, FHSIS, no? Napakaraming mga data collecting system. Dapat isa na lang sana, no? Yan po ang challenge, no? Hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin po yan na-resolve. So difficulty also, which was mentioned earlier, in getting accurate answers, especially on questions that are considered private information, like and delicate and socially unacceptable, like violence against women and their children, teenage pregnancy, children in conflict with the law, mental illness, and other similar information na napakahirap po. So what have we learned? Accurate and relevant data is vital in decision-making and poverty reduction. Targeted interventions are cost-effective. CBMS gives communities a voice in decision-making. Kabilang talaga sila kasi ang impormasyon galing sa kanila. Public service delivery is depoliticized through CBMS. EBP, increase local government accountability and transparency. Evidence-based programming. No? Increase local government accountability and transparency. Political commitment is key to sustainability. Okay? Kailangan talaga may political commitment. And lastly, gender statistics must do more than just disaggregate existing data by sex. Integrating a gender perspective throughout the statistical system is essential in producing quality data. And to conclude, evidence-based planning and programming help decision makers and policymakers achieve goals. Wise public investment is key to reducing poverty and addressing inequalities within the society. Timely and accurate data to measure progress and plan for investment, as well as for good analysis and policy application, is crucial. Real benefits of development quickly accrue to communities when the locals are involved. People, and we have to remember this, people should be at the core of development. The ultimate aim of development is to improve the lives of people. And lastly, CBMS is a tool, and like any other instrument, is value neutral. Its value and significance depend on how it is utilized. Maraming salamat.